In back segment tonight, a federal judge in Virginia, Henry Hudson, has ruled a big part of the Obamacare legislation is unconstitutional, setting the table for a Supreme Court challenge. The issue is the feds forcing you guys, to buy stuff. Here's what I said a year and a half ago. The government is saying you have to buy health insurance.
Right.
You have to do it.
Right.
I say that's unconstitutional. The federal government does not have the power to force an American to buy anything. All right, and now Judge Hudson agrees with me. Thank you, Judge. But does Judge Andrew Napolitano? Here he is. Now, I just want to, I couldn't use the whole clip, but I based that on, I said one caveat. The government can force you to buy something if public safety is concerned, i.e. auto insurance, or if there's a public safety component. Here there is not.
But here we're also talking about the federal government. It's the states that require you to buy auto insurance.
No, but if you challenged the state and took it to the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court, I believe, would rule in favor of the state.
You're right, and it has.
On the public safety issue.
And because the states can do things the feds can't. Here's the issue. Where in the Constitution is the federal government authorized to compel you to buy health care? No matter how noble the goal is that everyone have health care, where is it? It's not there.
Okay, but you can make that argument about everything but taxes, because taxes is spelled out in the Constitution. Well, you can say the federal government has no right to draft you into the armed services.
Well, I would make that argument, but not here. Here's what's different. This is an affirmative compelling you to do something.
You have to do it.
Right. And
or will hurt you.
Or right. And is the hurt a penalty or a tax? And the government fudged on whether it was a penalty or a tax.
Well, they said it was a tax, but who's buying that?
Nobody is. In fact, the opinion today says if this is a tax, it'll be the first tax in American history that doesn't apply to everybody.
Everybody knows that's bogus, and that was to get around the fact that the federal government. So you and I essentially agree here.
You must have been reading something that I wrote that caused you to make that brilliant comment a year ago.
My brilliant comment happened in August of 2009.
Right.
And that was exactly the time when Fox was trying to fire you for getting, no, I'm making that up. But I was way ahead. I was way ahead of everybody on this. And I'm not a constitutional scholar, but I do understand the country.
Remember this. There are 20 lawsuits. There have been 3 so far. 2 have gone the other way. This third one that came down today.
Did federal judges rule on the other 2?
Yes, and there are 17 other federal judges waiting to rule. I think the Supreme Court is going to wait until they all rule.
2 said, and this is a Republican judge, by the way, appointed by W.
Yes.
2 judges said, no, the feds can do this and force you to do it, and 1 judge has said, no, they can't.
Correct. There's a huge one coming down in January in Pensacola, Florida, where 20 states, including Virginia, are the plaintiffs.
Is it the same issue?
Yes, it's the same issue. It also addresses the other issues of, can the Congress tell the states what they have to do to set up these medical exchanges and to pay for them?
But that gets to be really pinheady. I like to keep it simple. So you agree with me that the Constitution of the United States does not give the federal government the power to say you have to buy this, even if it is in the interest of the public?
Yes.
Because there isn't a public safety component to it.
Suppose the Congress declares that the sun causes skin cancer. Can it make us wear hats? Under this case, no, it can't. We have the right to make that choice.
Okay, but you wouldn't have the right if that old slippery slope comes in, all right, and say that the Supreme Court rules that the government does have the right to compel you to buy health insurance. Well, then what you just said about the hat,
the slippery slope
could start.
Yes, the slippery slope might come in because the Supreme Court might say if the feds are paying for it, then they can regulate your behavior.
Answer me this. Why can the federal government then ban narcotics use? They can make them illegal. And they made booze illegal in Prohibition, okay? Why can they do that? They can say you can't buy this.
In my opinion, under the Constitution, they can't ban narcotics any more than they could ban booze.
Now you're going into the crazy land. But again,
I'll come back. That's why you asked me that question.
That's right. I wanted people to essentially understand that you're still crazy, even though you agree with me on this issue. And I'll point to the public safety. That
and
the government
have you read my books on the Constitution?
Of course not. Why would I ever read your books on the Constitution? But I will say to the audience, in my opinion, it's a public safety. The government has a right to protect you from people who would get jacked up on some substance and hurt you.
States have that right, not the federal government.
All right, there you go. Judge Andrew Napolitano, everybody, we agree on the essential Obamacare issue.